Let's cut through the noise and state the one terrifying truth nobody in Vegas wants to say out loud. If you're planning a trip here in 2025, you are walking straight into a trap. And it's not because the neon glow is faded. Oh no, the mirage is as bright as ever. It's because the corporate puppeteers pulling the strings have systematically ripped out the very soul of what once made this city legendary. I've spoken with the old guard, the bartenders, the pit bosses, the cocktail servers who've seen it all since the 90s, and their voices echo a single chilling sentiment. This city no longer sees people, it sees walking wallets. It's a full-blown financial assault on its own patrons, where every price tag feels like a slap in the face. The service has been gutted, the hospitality is a ghost, and the self-proclaimed entertainment capital has morphed into a place where you're charged for the very air you breathe. I'm talking $9 for a simple bottle of soda. A staggering $50 for a pathetic diluted cocktail served in a cheap plastic souvenir. You want to check in early? Prepare to be punished with a $60 convenience fee. But the most heartbreaking part of this whole charade is that the locals predicted this catastrophe. The second the Wall Street vultures descended on the Strip during the pandemic, the magic died, and it became a cold, calculated game of profit margins. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain to expose precisely why visiting Las Vegas now is a fool's errand, and why the most powerful move we can make is to starve the beast until it's forced to remember its own identity. Part 1. The prices are a declaration of contempt. Let's dive into the most glaringly obvious reason you'd have to be mad to come here: the cost. Look, Vegas was always a place where you'd part with some cash for a world-class experience. That was the unspoken contract. You'd roll the dice, you'd indulge, but you were rewarded with something tangible. The spectacle, the pulsating energy, the dazzling lights. You bought into the fantasy that for one weekend, you were a king. That fantasy is dead. Now, Vegas doesn't bother with the pretense. It's just a relentless, neon-drenched black hole for your money. Every single price is inflated to a point of pure audacity, as if it's some sick corporate experiment to find the human breaking point. Those hotel rooms that were $99 a night in 2019, now they're gouging you for $250, even $300. And hold on, that's just the bait. Then comes the resort fee, arguably the most brazen grift on the entire Strip. They claim it's for amenities like Wi-Fi and pool access, but the Wi-Fi is a joke, and the pool shuts down before the sun even sets. Yet, through some dark magic of marketing, they've managed to normalize this outright theft. And then there's the parking. Remember when parking was a given? It was a sacred, unspoken rule of the desert oasis. You bring your business, we give you a place to park. Now they have the gall to charge you, a paying hotel guest, $40 or $50 just to leave your car in their concrete tomb. A garage that was paid for decades ago. And if you think that's bad, don't even get me started on the price of basic survival. You want a simple breakfast sandwich and a coffee? That'll be $30. A single mediocre cocktail on the Strip? $20 to $25. And for God's sake, don't even breathe near the minibar unless you're prepared for financial ruin. One accidental touch triggers a $9 charge for a tiny bottle of water you can get for $1 at any gas station. We've reached a truly twisted reality where losing at the blackjack table is less painful than just trying to exist here. The real anger now comes from being fleeced at every turn before you even get a chance to gamble. And make no mistake, this isn't just mindless greed. It's a cold, predatory strategy. These faceless corporations know that once you're here, you're their hostage. The flight is booked, the room is paid for, the show tickets are in hand. They've got you, and they're going to squeeze. The old Vegas earned its keep by delivering unforgettable moments. The new Vegas profits by grinding you down into submission. You've been demoted from a valued guest to a mere data point on a quarterly earnings report. So the next time you see those glossy ads with smiling couples sipping cocktails before the Bellagio fountains, remember the lie. What they're hiding is the crippling bill that follows that perfect moment. Because in 2025, you don't come to Vegas to live a dream. You come to be bled dry. And they will not stop until every last cent is drained from your account. Part 2. the hollowing out of a city soul. It pulsed with the energy of people who actually gave a damn. Dealers who knew your name after a few hands. Bartenders who had your favorite drink waiting. Servers who'd share a laugh. And made you feel just for a moment like you belonged. That human connection was the very lifeblood of this city. Genuine people forging genuine connections amidst the glittering chaos. That pulse has flatlined. Speak to any veteran who's survived more than 10 years on this strip and they'll confirm it. The soul of Vegas has been surgically replaced by an algorithm. The mass layoffs, the relentless cost cutting, the cold march of automation. This isn't some subtle shift. It's a brutal public execution of the old way. The bellhops vanished. The helpful concierge desk, a ghost. And the charismatic pit bosses who made you feel like a VIP, they've been replaced by emotionless security and the unblinking eye of 1,000 cameras. The human touch is dead, replaced by the cold, sterile glow of a touchscreen and a soulless QR code. This city was forged on the warmth of human service, not the cold logic of software, a concept utterly alien to the corporate vultures. Oh, they understand efficiency, all right. They understand slashing labor costs to the bone. They've mastered the dark art of collapsing 5 livelihoods into one and having the audacity to call it innovation. I heard a gut-wrenching story from a former buffet worker who recalled a time when a whole team, servers, bussers, worked in harmony. Now, a lone soldier is left to manage an entire battlefield of tables. Her voice cracked as she told me how a job she once loved has become a daily nightmare. Guests are left waiting endlessly, the food is a shadow of its former self, and a cloud of misery hangs over everyone. But hey, as long as the corporation saves a few paltry dollars per shift, they dare to label this degradation progress. Let me be clear, this isn't progress. This is the agonizing, slow-motion execution of the very soul that made Vegas human. And this poison isn't just killing the workers, it's contaminating the very air. You can taste the despair the second you step onto a casino floor today. The warmth has been replaced by a chilling void. Any laughter you hear is a hollow, manufactured echo. The dealer's eyes are vacant, ghosts of their former selves. The cocktail servers are stretched to their breaking point. It's a citywide masquerade of everything's fine, while the entire foundation crumbles under the crushing weight of insatiable corporate greed. There was a time when this city made everyone, from the penthouse whale to the last dime tourist, feel like royalty. It was a grand, beautiful illusion, I'll grant you that. But now, the mask is off. The pretense is gone. You are no longer a guest to be welcomed, you are a data point to be processed, a wallet to be drained. And that is the sickening truth of why the Vegas of today feels like a soulless imitation, a colossal machine sputtering on its last fumes, kept alive only by the sheer will of its broken employees and the fading ghosts of a golden age. And now, for part 3, a warning. The games are no longer just a gamble. They are a calculated swindle. In a forgotten era, Vegas earned its keep with an honest hustle. They beat you, yes, but they beat you fair and square. You knew the house had the edge, but you always felt like you had a fighting chance. The tables crackled with energy, the dealers were charismatic showmen. The unspoken contract was to give you a hell of a time so that even if you lost, you walked away with a story to tell. That Las Vegas is a ghost. Today, the deck isn't just stacked against you, it's a completely different predatory game. And don't you dare chalk this up to a simple run of bad luck. I'm talking about a cold, deliberate, and predatory greed. Take the table minimums for a start. There was a time you could stroll into any casino on this strip, slap down $20 on the green felt, and just enjoy a few hands of blackjack for fun. Now, you'd be blessed to find a seat for under $50. And at the so-called premium resorts, they demand $100 just for the privilege of sitting down. And those $5 and $10 tables they dangle in their ads, it's a cruel joke. They're almost all sterile electronic terminals now. No dealer, no banter, no complimentary drink, just a cold screen designed to bleed your wallet dry before you can even say hit me. But the ultimate betrayal, the deepest insult, lies in the games themselves. Vegas has been quietly rigging the rules. and the unsuspecting masses haven't even noticed. Remember the sacred rule of blackjack, paying 3 to 2 for a natural? That's ancient history. Now the vast majority of strip casinos have switched to a paltry 6 to 5 payout, a sleight of hand that robs you of your rightful winnings. That one insidious change dramatically jacks up the house's advantage. And roulette? They corrupted it by going from single zero to double zero. As if that wasn't enough, some tables now feature the abomination of a triple zero. This isn't just bad odds, people. It's brazen theft disguised with a cheap smile. It's the equivalent of calling a lottery ticket an investment strategy. And they've even come for craps, the most vibrant social game on the floor. The most thrilling game in the house is being systematically gutted and turned into a soulless digital ghost. They're ripping out live tables for digital monstrosities where a single dealer oversees 50 isolated players staring at screens. A brilliant cost-cutting move for the casino? Sure, but it murders everything that made craps electric. No real dice in your hand, no roar of the crowd, no shared energy. Just the cold, dead silence of a transaction. An efficient machine for extracting your money. And make no mistake, none of this happened by accident. It is the result of a calculated shift from gaming to the bloodless corporate jargon of revenue optimization. The old casinos understood their business. Keep you happy, give you a great time, and you'll come back for more. The new model? Squeeze every last cent from your pockets in a single brutal visit. This city's legend was built on the thrilling dance of risk and reward. Now, it's nothing but risk and the bitter taste of regret. And if you honestly believe you can outsmart this corrupted system on the Strip in 2025, I hate to say it, but only a fool would cling to such a fantasy. Part 4. The Cultural Wasteland. There was a time you could visit Vegas 10 weekends straight, and each trip would be a unique adventure. The city teemed with hundreds of shows, wonderfully bizarre attractions, charmingly cheap magic acts, and raw live bands playing in smoky, forgotten lounges. You could find everything from legions of Elvis impersonators to spectacular productions with tigers, dancers, and pyrotechnics. You could feast on prime rib for $7.99 and catch a major headliner for $40 and still have money in your pocket for a final round of blackjack. That glorious variety has been systematically erased. Vegas no longer has the capacity to surprise you. It merely sells you the same sanitized cookie-cutter experience again and again, but at a grotesquely inflated price. Every casino is a carbon copy of the next, every restaurant is another celebrity chef's soulless concept with the audacity to charge $50 for a bowl of pasta. Every single show is just a grotesque remix of the same 10 tired ideas. You've got your Cirque du Soleil acrobats, your pop star residencies, and the endless parade of recycled nostalgia acts. The raw, bizarre, wonderfully weird Vegas that gave this city its pulse has been systematically exterminated, replaced by whatever sterile concept a corporate marketing team believes will peddle the most $25 cocktails. The days of stumbling into something genuinely magical are over. You can no longer discover some random lounge singer with a voice that could shatter your soul, or a stand-up comic far too brilliant for a sparse Tuesday night crowd. This is how legends were born here. But now, the small stages have been bulldozed. The local performers have been exiled. The very soul of live entertainment has been priced out and evicted from its own city. And this plague isn't just confined to entertainment, it's devoured the food scene too. Buffets were once a sacred Las Vegas institution. For decades, they were a glorious symbol of unrestrained generosity. All you can eat wasn't just a marketing slogan, it was a solemn promise. You could heap your plate high, share a laugh with strangers, and for a moment, feel like you were truly getting something back from this city. Now, the vast majority of those hallowed buffets have been replaced with so-called food halls, which is just a sanitized corporate euphemism for pay restaurant prices for glorified cafeteria slop. You are not getting value. You are being served branded mediocrity under the glare of neon lights. Even the shows that remain feel utterly hollow. Ticket prices have skyrocketed and every ounce of spontaneity has been surgically removed. You don't just show up and decide what to see anymore. No, you must meticulously plan months in advance, as if you're booking a pilgrimage to Disney World. And that is precisely what Las Vegas has become. A soulless corporate theme park for adults who are oblivious to the fact that the magic was bled out long ago. Vegas once thrived on being unpredictable. Now it's merely efficient. And believe me, that is not a compliment. When everything is safe, sanitized, and scripted down to the last second, it ceases to be entertainment and becomes a cold, hard transaction. You don't leave this hollowed-out version of Vegas with cherished memories anymore. You leave with a stack of receipts. Part 5. Vegas is now waging a war against its own people. This city was built on the backs of people who loved it. Not just the glamorous showgirls and the charismatic dealers, but the cooks, the valets, the cocktail servers, the pit bosses, and the housekeepers, the invisible army that made the Strip hum like a well-oiled dream machine. They were the very heartbeat of this town. They had the power to make visitors feel truly special, and in return, Vegas was supposed to take care of them. This city may have been founded on gambling, but it was sustained by an unspoken pact of loyalty, a pact with workers who poured decades of their lives into keeping those lights glowing. But in 2025, that loyalty is treated like garbage. The very same corporations shamelessly boasting about record-breaking profits are, in the shadows, systematically cutting hours, slashing benefits, and outsourcing jobs to the lowest bidder. They call it restructuring. The locals, the people being destroyed by it, call it what it is, a sickening betrayal. Over the last year alone, hundreds of loyal employees across the Strip have been cast aside or forced into impossible, merged positions. Entire departments, concierge desks, bell services, dedicated housekeeping crews are being mercilessly gutted. At one of the biggest resorts, they actually eliminated the entire bell desk. Guests are now forced to drag their own luggage through a sprawling lobby because some spreadsheet declared it more efficient. And the workers who haven't been fired yet? They're being worked to the bone, forced to do 2 or 3 jobs for the exact same pay. One cocktail server confessed to me she's now covering double the tables she ever had to before. A dealer warned me that management has cut the floor staff so thin that if a single person calls in sick, the entire shift teeters on the brink of collapse. Everyone is perpetually exhausted. Everyone is treated as disposable. Meanwhile, the city that once promised an affordable life for its working families has morphed into a predatory trap. Rents are soaring, gas is through the roof, groceries are astronomical, and the casinos could not care less. They will gleefully pay a public relations firm millions to broadcast a lie that Vegas is thriving, while the very people keeping it alive can't even afford to live within 20 miles of the Strip. Locals once swelled with pride for this place. Now, most of them are just desperately trying to survive it. The irony is absolutely agonizing. While Vegas aggressively sells the illusion of luxury to tourists, it is quietly and brutally bleeding dry the people who make that illusion possible. This city is cannibalizing itself, trading its humanity for microscopic gains in profit margins. And when you drive past those glittering monolithic resorts at night, you can feel the sickness in the air. The smiles on the workers' faces don't reach their eyes anymore. The laughter echoing through the halls sounds rehearsed and hollow. The magic feels utterly forced. Las Vegas isn't just losing its visitors, it's losing its own people. And make no mistake, without them, there is no Vegas. No amount of dazzling LED screens, celebrity residencies, or billion-dollar arenas can ever fake the authentic human spirit